In this lesson, we're looking at how to create a 3D model in SketchUp when we're given two-dimensional views of their top, front, and sides. If you haven't used SketchUp before, I recommend that you watch my video on getting started with SketchUp for schools. As the primary building block for this exercise, we're going to work with a unit cube and copy and paste it to create the shape shown in the drawings. To copy it, we use the Select tool, click on the object, press Ctrl-C on our keyboard, and Ctrl-V to paste. When it pastes the cube, you can notice that the move handle is in the bottom corner of the shape, and you can simply drag it and move it. And when it gets close to another point, another endpoint, typically a corner, it will kind of snap into place there. So then you can click to drop it in place. I can press Ctrl-V and move and slide and drop it, or I could put it up on top. One rule that we're going to follow when we're doing our design is that when we place blocks, we're not going to allow them to be placed where they're just connected by the edges. So you can't have it overhanging just like that. However, we will say that it's okay to assemble them like this, where you have the full face of two blocks connecting. So even though it's not supported here, it's hanging over open air, it's still going to be allowed because it's fully connected to the block beside it. We're going to make one change to the settings, which would give us the same view as the 2D views that we're working from to create our 3D image. To do that, we're going to click on the Scenes button here and then select Parallel Projection. Normally in perspective mode is what you learn to do in art class, where you have a vanishing point and parallel lines converge at that vanishing point. In parallel projection mode, the lines don't meet. It looks a bit awkward, but it will help make sure your 3D drawing matches the 2D views that we're working from. So we choose parallel projection. You don't notice it much when we're just looking at the cube here. The last thing to look at before we get started are the buttons here in the scenes view. These buttons give us a very quick method of seeing our 3D object in each of its 2D views. So you can see right now we're looking sort of diagonally at the shape. If I click this button here in the center, that gives me a top view, so I'm looking straight down at the top. If I click on the button beside it, it's the left side view, so I see just the view from the left-hand side. Similarly from the right-hand side, similar looking at it from the front of the model. For our first example, we're given three drawings, the top, front, and left view of a three-dimensional object. I'm going to start reproducing this by looking first of all at the top view. So I'm going to go into SketchUp and I'm going to make my view look just like that from the top. So I've got one cube already. To make it a little easier to work, I'm going to rotate the cube just a little bit so that I have more of a 3D perspective on my drawing. And now I'm going to hit the Select tool, click the object, press Ctrl-C to copy and Ctrl-V to paste, and it gives me a second object so I can drop it into place, and it snaps to the corner there. Another Ctrl-V, and again drops it into place. In order to match up my drawing, I need it to be this upside down T, so I need to put another one in behind it. Now this one, because when I Ctrl-V, I'm actually connected to the bottom corner. If I click it there, you can see it's now up on a different level, and that's not what I want. I can select that top block, hit the M, and slide it down into place. Now when I go to look at the top view, I can see that it matches exactly what I want from the drawing. How about the front view? If I look at the front view, I've only got the three on the bottom here. I don't have the one on the top. I have a couple of choices here now. If I put one on the back, it's going to look the same as if I put it on the front. So I'm going to try and see what happens if I drop it at the back. And I look at the front view, and from the front view, it matches what I want in the drawing. Got a match. However, when I go back and look at the side view, I've got an angle going this way, but what I want to have is the angle going the other way from the left view. So that tells me that I put the block in the wrong place. Again, I'll go into 3D mode just to make it a little easier to see what's going on. Hit the Move key. And now I can slide it forward into place. And let's see now what it looks like from the left-hand view. That matches what I want. So let's just double check all three of the views. There's my top view, my front view, and my left side view, which is exactly what I want from my original drawings. I've created a 3D model based on the top, front, and left side views of the object. Let's try another example. Let's look at this design. We've got top, front, left, and right side views. We'll start by creating the top view. It's an upside down horseshoe. So I'm going to paste another block into position, drop it, and then slide it down to where I want it to be. Place another one beside it, another one there, and another one right about here. Drop it and then move it into exactly where I want it to snap. And I click on the top view and see, does that match what I want? And yes, I've got the upside down horseshoe, so my top view is matching. Going back to the front view, however, though, I've only got one level right now, and I need to have 3 levels going up here. I'm going to need to start building a little bit. In the center, there's only one place to build up. I can't build over the open air here. So I know there's going to have to be a block right there. And I've got 3 levels here, so I'm going to keep going up on top of that one. And it also fills in beside it. What I don't know is whether they sit here on the front block or they're on the back block. So I'm going to go ahead and assume they're on the front. I'll paste it there and there as well. Looking at the front view now matches what we want for the front view here. Double check to make sure the top view still looks okay. Top view, and the top view still matches. How about left side view? I look at the left side, that matches. And how about the right side? And it looks like the right side matches. So from that, we can conclude that our 3D model matches the two-dimensional drawings that we got. There are, however, some other possible solutions. We could have had all of this space filled in as well. That would also be a solution. Or we could have even had this one missing because we said it was okay for these to be connected as they are. The trick with this kind of drawing where you've got a gap is that when you're using the parallel projection mode and only looking from the front side, even if we added in the back view, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that that space was missing. So based on the drawings we were given, there are actually multiple solutions that would work. So that's the method for using SketchUp to take your 2D drawings and convert them into 3D models.